Bit of a different topic, but I found a new casual playthrough video of some super old Sonituber from 2017 and disappeared after Forces. He said that game was so awful he lost interest in Sonic. I mean, yeah, dude. That's how I felt about Frontiers. I'm like, this game legitimately basically killed whatever was left in me that could possibly be given over to Sonic. It's gone. He said, in my further limited free time, I don't have time to continue playing these new crappy Sonic games. I mean, who does have time? Ain't nobody got time, dude. We don't have time to play crappy games anymore. I don't. I do not have time to be a guinea pig. Well, Jazz, if you just played the game, then you would know. Bobby Wobby Bobby Boo. Nope. I haven't even played a Sonic game in years. Dude, me too. I think Frontiers was the last Sonic game I played. Actually, in 2022. Holy crap. Or 2023. No, it's 2022. I promise you, if you guys spend any of your remaining time on Earth consuming other franchises other than Sonic, you will lose interest in Sonic, because so many other franchises just actually do their franchises justice, and it's so upsetting to see how bungled Sonic is all the time. Just a constant bungling. You didn't even beat it, Jazz. Dog, I was completely 300% correct with all of my criticisms from just the footage we had. It was actually all true. I didn't lie about a single thing. It was an unpolished, unfinished game. Was it fun? Yeah. I don't want to take that away from it. Like, there was some fun to be had of just like running around as Sonic in a world. Like, it was the first time in how many years where we actually just got to play as Sonic and move around like a normal human being in an environment. That felt, the crazy part is that felt revolutionary. That's the crazy part. I beat it, and I'll tell you it's not worth it. Yeah, I know. I could tell. I did not have to beat it to know it wasn't worth it to beat it. I keep coming back to this thing of like, if you have to experience something firsthand to know whether or not you're going to enjoy it, you do not know yourself well enough, and you don't know what you like well enough. That's just it. I can look at games. Since I was a teenager, I could look at a game and be like, I'm not going to enjoy that. I'm not going to play that. I have never been wrong. Because I know what I enjoy. And if something visually doesn't click with me, I'm not going to touch it. For whatever reason, Sonic fans don't have this capacity. It is like completely lost on them. Maybe once the Unleashed generation grows out of it, which they will, and the franchise starts truly failing on all fronts, maybe there'll be hope again. The problem is, dude, this is the hopelessness you have to accept with the franchise. Every new generation, every time there's a new game, there's a new generation who will be okay with it because it was their first experience with Sonic. That's it. That's how they keep making endless amounts of customers, and the standards get lower and lower. Because everyone, like all the old fans now, they've probably moved on, right? Anyone who had a standard is mostly moved on or / like, you know, mentally crumbled, like me, who's just like, all right, I'm done. Like, I just don't care anymore. Have your trashy garbage movies. Have your Grinch movies. If that's what you want, have it. But that's not what I want. I don't think critical success matters as much as it does to the fandom. Like, if a game doesn't do well critically, but it sells commercially, who cares? Right? Who cares? Keep making it. Because that's what people want. That's what they're paying for. The lesson from Frontiers is not, hey, this was a flop. Let's do better. This was, people bought it. It was like the best-selling Sonic game, right? Same thing with Shadow Generations, which sold like crazy. It has a 97% on Steam, overwhelmingly positive. Shadow Frontiers. Or Shadow Generations, whatever it's called. Shadow Generations, guys. Shadow Generations is a 97% according to the community. Which, to be fair, like, it does not mean it's a 97 out of 100 game. It just means 97% of people recommend playing it. Which is, okay, fine. But I saw the gameplay. Nope, that's not what I want. Don't care that 97% of people like playing it. Don't care. Unleashed sold, and Frontier sold bigger. It's over, I guess, no hope. Thank you, finally. Yes, you are arriving at the correct conclusion. Like, if Frontiers bombed, that would have been the wake-up call. But it didn't, and that's actually the biggest problem. Is that Frontiers sold well. It's actually the worst thing that could have happened for the franchise. No cap. Like, whoever got burned by Forces was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. But then the last two games have just like, oh my gosh, it's the year of Sonic. Here we go. We're so back. Not realizing the wool is being pulled over their eyes, and they're just, I mean, again, Sega is doing the right thing in terms of just being a company, which is like, they're just pandering to you guys. Like, you're just being pandered to. You are being given like gruel and slop in video game form. And I think the main reason is, once again, like, I just don't think the average fan can actually try and imagine and dream about what a Sonic game could be like. And because Lang has been so maligned by the community, I think they think that Utopia, therefore, is like a bad idea. And I'm like, nope, Utopia is probably the ideal Sonic game. Like, that is an ideal Sonic game. It can merge the best of classic and modern and give players a lot of control. Friend of the stream, Pariah, said something that I think is probably true, which is, it's not that Sega can't make Utopia. It's that they don't want to, because it gives the player too much freedom. And that's something that Sega is just not interested in. Like, they want to make baby games for babies. And I agree with him on that. I am also, so that was his take. And I agree with him, except I'm going to take it a step further and say, I don't think Sega can actually make the games. Not only do I think they're not interested, I don't know if they can make the games. I think Frontiers for me was like the Jesus is King album from Kanye. You're like, dude, if the next one isn't better than this, it's probably over. I think something people need to understand, the majority of people that buy these games are the people you see on Twitter, mostly casuals playing this stuff. That's a fact nobody wants to hear. Most of the time, Sonic games are just parents buying Christmas gifts for their kids. I mean, I think you're also underestimating the fandom on Twitter. I mean, it cost me jobs and career connections, right? Like, just these people complaining on Twitter. So it's a little bit more potent than you think. Twitter is not real life. You know, man, Dave Chappelle used to say the same thing until it ruined his life. So at some point, Twitter becomes real life. If all our politicians and all the billionaires and technocrats are on Twitter, it's probably a real place to some extent. And not defending the Sega series, but the reality is these execs likely aren't looking at Twitter for feedback on creating games. Dude, Mori Kishimoto was literally on Twitter, like, responding to fans saying, like, yeah, I agree, like, there should be more momentum. Like, didn't he do that right when Frontiers came out? These people, like, again, they're not as out of touch as you think, because they're doing the right thing, wanting to create a product that other people are going to buy. The problem is that they're getting the wrong dang message, you know? The sales are giving them the wrong idea. Most people at GameStop aren't buying stuff on Twitter. I know, man, but, like, I do think to just say that it's not influencing anything, I think is not true. I think that used to be the case, again, years ago, but it's not the case anymore. I think 2020 I think Trump really put Twitter on the map in terms of, like, we can use this as a platform for communicating things. Because he was, like, the first Twitter president, right? And then everyone was like, oh, I guess we need to be on Twitter now because that's where the president is. So you can think glonal glumph. Basically, my point is companies like Sega and Nintendo could discard Twitter entirely, and there would probably be little effects on their sales because it's families buying these games. Might be true. The thing is, like, Twitter, having a following now is, like, it's free marketing, dude. If you follow, like, they did nothing to tell you about their product except just tweet it. That costs nothing. So, like, I feel like having a social media following is kind of invaluable for companies now because they don't have to pay to get the message in front of you. If the algorithm is honest, of course, which it's not. But they also had Aaron Weber to make their account infamous on Twitter. Can you guys believe that once upon a time, Aaron reached out to me and said, hey, man, I've seen Sonic Freedom. I want to show Sonic Freedom to the higher ups at Sega, just as, like, to showcase what our fans are doing with our franchise and, like, directions we could possibly take the games. And I was like, cool, dude. And he was like, do you have any favorite 3D Sonic fan games that you like me to show them? And I said, actually, I really love Sonic Utopia. I'm not kidding. I said, Sonic Utopia is probably my favorite 3D fan game ever played. It captures classic Sonic so well. You guys should make that game. And he goes, awesome. Thanks for that recommendation. And then I follow up with him a couple times, and he's like, oh, we haven't had that meeting yet, because apparently there's going to be, like, a presentation he was going to do. And he goes, oh, we haven't had that presentation yet. I'll let you know how it goes. So then I reach out, right, over and over and over again. I'm like, dude, how'd that thing go? And eventually he's like, yeah, they saw Sonic Freedom, and it went really good. And he's like, we have some ideas for directions for the franchise. And I was like, sweet. And then we hear when Superstars comes out, this happened like 4 years ago. Then Superstars comes out, and I see the Bullet Dash is in there, and it's called Bullet. And I go, okay, well, that's clearly from Freedom, right? And I know they had seen Freedom, so they put that in the game, and I'm like, well, that's cool. And then I find out that they were exploring a hand-drawn 2D Sonic game. This is in articles that you can find, that apparently Superstars was going to be hand-drawn, and they thought it was too much production / too much of a hassle, so they stopped it. So crazy. I'm like, we were so close. So anyways, boys, we made it. That's all I have to say. That's also part of the reason that I like just stopped caring. I was like, dude, whatever. I did my part. You guys have seen freedom. You've seen what Sonic could be. You have freedom in Utopia to like just get your imagination started, and all they can think about is, what about Frontiers 2? Well, open world, Sonic, story, voice acting. It's like, okay, we are on completely different. We are in different galaxies of thought here. I even saw someone the other day. So I was watching Pariah. I was watching a video he did where he's like, my favorite 3D Sonic fan games. And of course, Utopia was number 1. Or no, actually, Roboblast 2 was his favorite. But in the comments, people are like, someone said, I've played so many Sonic fan games at this point, I don't know what I want from Sonic. And I'm like, that's it. That's the fandom. And I'm like, that's it. People have no idea what they actually want. You don't know what Sonic is. Sonic has no identity. He's just a brand to be leveraged in other franchises. He's just Fortnite at this point. You're just something that other people go to. You're not your own brand. You're just a vehicle. I think the right thing to do if you really wanted to, you'd have to have a fresh start. That's what I think. I think you'd have to fire a lot of people. That's what I think. And I don't think Sega as a Japanese company is willing to do that. So I had Twitter blocked around November 2022. It was around the time that Frontiers was coming out, and Connor live streamed a hacked version of Frontiers before it was out, and I played it on stream. And I didn't know this, but one of the community managers for Sega reached out to me and said, hey man, not cool that you're doing this. If you don't take it down in the next like 5 to 10 minutes, I have to order a copyright strike and take down your channel. And I never saw it. So while we were streaming, I got copyright struck by Sega, and I'm sure that did not help my relationship with them, to say the least. Which, like, had I known, I obviously would have stopped. I just didn't know. And I didn't apologize, or didn't even get to apologize to him for months, because I just had Twitter blocked and I just never went on it. Blocked, by blocked, I just mean like I had it on my computer, like I just didn't allow myself access to it. Because I was on it all the time, I was just like, dude, I need to get off this stupid app. And I eventually apologized. Obviously, I came back to Twitter. I was like, holy crap, I just saw this now. I'm so sorry. Like, had I known back then, no response from him. And I know by showing it on stream, like I was kind of risking it already. But the fact that someone from Sega reached out and told me to stop, and I just literally could not see it. You couldn't stream on your main after that? I know. I couldn't stream anywhere. Because then, remember, Low Tier God got wrecked by YouTube. Whole channel completely deleted. Because he did what I was trying to do, which is if you can't stream on your main, you're like, oh, just go on my alt. That is, you cannot do that. That is against TOS, and they'll just delete your whole channel if you do that. So I streamed like once on DSJ, and then Low Tier God, and I just didn't know that was a rule. I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm not risking it. Never mind. You're getting me nostalgic for those streams, dude. I know, brother. I know. Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, man, life could be a dream. Like, it's weird because this is just opinions of a franchise for kids below the age of 10. Yeah, but dude, the problem is, like, most people who engage with this stuff on Twitter are not 10 years old. They are, like, between the ages of, like, 16 to 20. And the crazy thing is a lot of these underage know-nothings are the people who can literally just wake up one day and decide your life is over by saying something crazy about you on Twitter. Like, it's insane how much power these, like, little teenagers have. These, like, mentally ill teenagers running around on Twitter with no recourse. Like, remember, like, that day that I got quote unquote canceled, like, dog, that was a blip in that person's day. They had over 200,000 tweets in lifetime. 200,000 tweets lifetime. Like, taking me out was like breakfast for them. They're like, dude, I woke up, tweeted this insane thing that I saw, and I moved on. And the thing is, I went to their profile, I'm like, what are you tweeting? Now that, like, there's people dogpiling on me, what are you tweeting about? They had just moved on. Just completely moved on. Honestly, low-key Giga Chad, but also, like, you're so deranged and mentally ill that, like, you just, like, move on. Like, you didn't just do that to someone. I don't know. There's a level of delusion on Twitter at the time that I was like, I couldn't take it, man. Okay? I think we need ID verification. I know a lot of these folks, if you saw them IRL, you'd never want to associate with them. Yeah, but they're out there, man. You don't want to see them IRL. They're literally just in mommy's basement. It's why important to realize Twitter isn't real life. Bro, if they impact your real life, it's real to some extent. That's all I'm saying. You keep saying that, and I would agree with you, and I used to agree with you. But the problem is that, like, I've seen firsthand how these mentally ill people in mommy's basement impact your life. At some point, you're just like, okay, it's not that Twitter isn't real. It can have a real impact on your life. And the fact that so many people use it now, it's like, that doesn't fly anymore. Like, just saying it's not real doesn't fly anymore. But when our politicians are tweeting out things, you know, there's some level of like, this is real life. At what point is it not real life? I just want to live my life in peace, be able to believe the things that I believe without getting assaulted on the internet for it, which, by the way, most people believe. Which, just because a lot of people believe it doesn't mean it's true, but I just mean that it's weird to pretend, like, to solo me out as like, this guy in the Sonic community doesn't believe the things that we all normally believe, because we're all leftists and we're all activists, because we're all 18 and furries and, or, you know, insert mental illness in your bio. Like, we're all tired of those people. We're tired of it. We, the people, are tired of it. As soon as this happens, it's over. As soon as anyone has the balls to have ID verification on social media, you're going to see most cancellations stop. You're like, probably all of them, actually. Because if you have to tie your legal name to activity on the internet, people would behave very differently. Now, my thing is just like, I just think there's a certain level of responsibility you have to engage with things on the internet. Maybe that's a cringe cuck take, but I'm just saying that I think people take for granted what they can say and what they can do on the internet. It's the whole Mike Tyson thing. It's like, man, a lot of you guys have gotten used to saying things over the internet, disrespecting people behind their back. The way that the internet engages with the real life, like people who are terminally online engage with real life, is like, they think that whatever flies on Reddit and whatever flies on the internet and the court of public opinion is going to fly in a real court. And then these are the type of people who are going to complain about the justice system and that's corrupt and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you live in a fantasy. Your whole make-believe structure doesn't fly when adults are present. You know, it really is like a Lord of the Flies thing. It's like, we're here on this island and we're all going to eat each other. And now I am going to follow, like, I'm going to be the leader and you guys need to follow me. And then the adult and the ship finally shows up and they all start crying, realizing that they've just been belligerent to one another, you know? That's what it feels like. SIC is full of losers, dude. Every time I check comments in there, they log on and talk about Sonic and then find something else to talk about. This is why I left every Sonic community as well. It's just like, it's the same conversations week after week after week. Like, dude, it's honestly just engaging with normal people in real life who aren't terminally online like me has just made me healthier, because I'm like, if I were to try and explain to them like what time on Discord is like, they'd be like, why don't you just leave? They'd be like, why are you there? I'd be like, you know what? Good point. Why am I there? That's the ultimate question. Why are you there? Just leave. Just leave. You can leave. Your life is only going to get better. Use Norman Reedus' face from Death Stranding to bypass the facial recognition? Dang. It doesn't stop me. This summer, he's back. And bigger than ever. It's Kabuki. You like a Disney Channel Plus show. The UK Online Safety Act can't stop me. He's back. He's better. One kid. I just want to see Destiny's tapes with one dream. But when the class bully finds out, will he be able to stop him in time? Kabuki, the Metropolitan Police are onto you. It's too late, man. He's cooked. He's absolutely cooked. We finished it. Looks good. Happy with it. Everyone take care. See you later. Gamescom is boring garbage. Gaming is boring garbage. Sonic is boring garbage. But Magic Punk lives on, guys. Magic Punk might be the dream.
I require you to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ding the notification emblem. I promise you, content.